hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it to. I hope you're doing it as well as I am at the moment. Any fitter and I'd be a danger to shipping. Here we go. We're having a look at the Sherman M4A2E4. It's a snazzy little number, and it's the latest addition to what is a very, very important group of tanks, both historically and for the purists amongst the player base. The Shermans, the M4s, the Easy 8s, the Jumbos, you can see there, the M4A2E4 here, which I think is like a little baby jumbo, which is quite a fun tank to look at. And I think aesthetically it looks brilliant, just gorgeous. And like most of the M4 line, it has gun depression. It's got 10 degrees of gun depression, and it's utilized when you ride it up a little ridge like this and push that very, very steeply sloped armor up a little higher and create a very awkward angle. And you see in the top left corner there, it turns red, and you get bounces, and you can still get shots over those little ridges. Now, rather than cobble together a whole heap of footage and show you little flashy bits of me blowing stuff up, I thought that I'd have a bit of a chat over the last game I played in this tank, which was a really good game and which was up against same tier competition, tier 5s. It's not the quickest tank. A lot like the Jumbo with that fairly strong turret and strong gun mantlet. The trade-off is that you don't really move very quickly. So you've got to be methodical when you move around the battlefield. You've got to figure out where you think you're going to do the most good, what's the most fortuitous position for a tank of such statesman-like mobility, and then go there. Because when it's given the opportunity to move and shake, it can do the business. It's got a 75mm M3 gun, and that pumps out about 9 rounds a minute. Now, I would highly recommend that you run calibrated shells with this tank, because while I only ran the first level of equipment, I made sure that rather than running gun rammer, I ran the extra pen shells. The penetration numbers on the tank are pretty woeful, but you can get it up to 111mm if you run those calibrated shells, and that is a must-have in my opinion, because a lot of the tanks you're going to come up against, if you run into any heavy tanks at tier 5 and 6, when you get up tiered, you can struggle. It's got good DPM numbers though, and because of that 10 degrees of gun depression, you never really struggle to find an opportunity to put a shot in. And if I'm honest with you, there will be an awful lot of purists and people who buy this tank because it is an M4 variant. And that is fair enough, because I've been to Bovington, I've been to the holy grail of tanking and had a great time at Tank Fest this year. And I was lucky enough to see these tanks in the flesh, some of these World War II vehicles. And tanks like the M4 and the M4A2E4 certainly tick the boxes if you're looking for a more realistic gameplay experience. And I know that a lot of you out there, from reading the comments section of my YouTube channel, are certainly looking for that. Now, if you know what you're doing in this tank, it is still quick enough to get around the traps and circle of death, all but the fastest TDs like this Toaster here. He's very, very quick on the traverse. Doesn't save him though in the end. We managed to put the A2E4 to good use there. And we're going to support our Anko, who is out here holding the line grimly against all and sundry. Somewhere there is a Matilda. I can't see him. I don't know where he is. But you can see the E4 is really managing quite successfully here. The pen is perfectly fine when you're dealing with other medium tanks. And the mobility may actually be a little bit of a help for people that find themselves YOLOing because the tank is literally so quick. Something we like to call the Dracula effect. When you're in the enemy spawn 30 seconds after kickoff and dead 32 seconds after kickoff. Let's play some jazz here while I speed up the old Tankaroony and get to the last red guy, the last baddie. Bit of a Keystone Cops moment here where I go left, he goes right, and we eventually find ourselves like ships in the night. It's got a very, very steeply sloped upper glacis and very flat sides, which means you can be very awkward to pen for enemy mediums, especially if they don't have amazing guns, like the Matilda doesn't have an amazing gun, and that means that you can get away with a lot of stuff. It's not an overpowered tank. I'm not here to tell you that at all, but it has enough characteristics and enough good bits going for it that you can make a living with it, you can earn some money, you can have some fun, and you can do it all the while looking like a very, very cool World War II vehicle, which for a lot of people out there ticks all the boxes. That's exactly what they're after. I think about doing some really sneaky reverse side scraping here, and then I just decide that this is getting ridiculous, and we go all in on the Matilda, because basically the Matilda is a very hefty piece of machinery and is not well known for getting around the dance floor particularly well, and as you'll see here, we take full advantage of that. So that's the M4A2E4. Great little tank, a lot of fun to drive, has all the characteristics of a standard M4 line variant, not quite as mobile as the Easy 8, very much in the vein of the Jumbo there, but for all that, still perfectly capable of handling its business at tier 5. And even when you get up tiered a little bit and you have to go to APCR or something, you can get enough penetration and damage out to get the job done, as you can see there. I'm Bushka on Blitz. Look after yourselves, and until next time, stay safe on the battlefield.